Hey everyone, so today's makeup look is this cool pink teamed with this black winged liner suitable for Valentine's Day. To start with, I'm going to use L'Oreal's True Match foundation. This bottle I got when I was in the US, that's why it's different to the UK bottle. And to apply it, I'm going to use my MAC Duo Fibre Brush. I think this is the 130 brush. I like to use Duo Fibre brushes because you get a bit more of a sheer finish. They pick up less product because the bristles are a little bit more splayed apart. If I want a slightly fuller coverage, then I can change the application brush and go for something like a flat foundation brush or a buffing brush, or I can just layer the product a couple of times to build up the coverage. Now, as many of you know, I have oily skin and I actually found this to be okay. I don't like to wear liquid foundation in the day, but I did give this a little test and it was really nice. Next, I'm taking this Pro Sculpt Cream by MAC, and this is in Coffee Walnut. And I'm using my same Duo Fibre brush with a little bit of the foundation that's left on the bristles to work that into the hollows of the cheeks. Obviously, depending on what foundation you use, don't set your foundation if you're going to use a cream. Just work it straight on top of your foundation and you'll find it blends like a dream. You can then go in afterwards and set your foundation, and it will also minimise the look of your contour, so don't worry if you go too dark. Putting a powder over the top, whether it be a pressed powder foundation or a translucent powder, you will find it will just minimise your contour ever so slightly. If you're not oily and you like that dewy finish, then you don't even have to set your foundation. It's completely up to you. So as you can see, I've taken a small amount of that down the sides of my nose. Again, this is just going to bring a little bit of dimension to the face because after you apply foundation, your skin can look a little bit flat. I'm also applying a very small amount of that along the temple, just to make the cheekbone pop a little bit more. Next, I'm taking this Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil by Hourglass, and I'm just going to fill in my brows following the natural shape, penciling in the sparse areas. If you've seen all my videos, you'll see I used this in my soft hazelnut makeup tutorial back in August. So I've just started using it again and I really do like it. What's great about this triangular shape that it's got is you've got a sharp side to define your brows with, and then you've got a fuller side to fill in your brows with. And it's obviously caught on because Anastasia Beverly Hills has also released a pencil that is almost identical to this shape now. What I love about this pencil as well is that it's a nice ashy shade which suits my brow colour. I'm going to keep all the hairs in place with this brow gel, which is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Even though my brow hair is very soft and it lays flat, the gel prevents me from touching my brows because they feel crispy, which means it prevents me from rubbing off the brow pencil. Moving on to eyeshadow, I'm using the Gwen Stefani palette by Urban Decay, and the shade I'm using is Zone, which is a nice medium matte brown. And on a fluffy blending brush, I'm working this through the socket of the eye. If you've got particularly small lids, then you can avoid this because obviously you don't want your eye to become even smaller. You can keep this colour just to the outer corner. I'm going to layer this colour a couple of times to just build up the intensity. If you're someone who finds that their eyeshadow creases a lot, you can go in with an eyeshadow primer to begin with. Urban Decay's Primer Potion is a great one, or a paint pot by MAC. As we want the pink to really stand out against our skin tone, we're going to lay down a white base. I'm using NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk. It's a popular option for a lot of people because it's convenient and it works really well. Any white kohl pencil would do, or if you've got a white cream based makeup, that will also work. I advise using your finger to blend it in as the warmth from your finger is going to melt the product into the skin. So I'm going to use the pink from the palette, which is called Harajuku. As this has got a shimmer to it, I'm going to use a flat shaded brush as this is going to pick the pigment up and allow me to lay it on the eye without too much fallout. And since we've got the white base down, it's going to also stick to that white base, and because it is white, it's also going to allow the colour to be as pink as it looks in the pan as opposed to how it would look on our skin. To intensify this colour, I'm going to use a pigment. This one is by Alexa Persico Cosmetics, and the colour I'm using is called Cotton Candy. And I'm using that same flat shaded brush to apply this on the outer third of the eye and the inner third of the eye, and I'm leaving that middle section without any of this pigment on. Even though this is slightly warmer, it will still be overall a cooler look. I'm not even sure they make this anymore, but this is Powder Puff Pigment by Benefit Cosmetics. And using that same flat shaded brush, I'm going to press this over the centre of the mobile eyelid, so from the lash line up to the crease, keeping that in line with our pupil. This is going to help to give the illusion that our eyelids are slightly bigger and rounder. The next pigment I'm taking is by Alexa Persico again, and this one is Snow Angel, and it's a really pretty creamy snow colour. And using my small pencil brush by Zoeva Cosmetics, I'm placing it on the inner corners of the eyes, feathering it into that pink that we've got on the inner corner. Going back to my Gwen Stefani palette, I'm taking the colour Blonde, and this is the lightest shade in the palette and it's got a cool undertone. It's almost got a bluey mother of pearl finish to it. And I'm sweeping that underneath the arch of the brow, and I'm going to keep blending it till it really fades out. What's also great about this step is if you've brought the colour of your brown too high up, when you're swiping your brush backwards and forwards and you're fading that colour down, you're going to minimise a little bit of that brown, and it's going to leave you with the perfect transition from that medium brown to that nice cool shimmer. Moving on to the winged liner, I'm using this pen by Eyeshadow, and this is their liquid liner called I Do. Starting at the inner corner of the eye, I'm using gentle stroke marks to pull the colour across the top lid close to the lash line. Even though we're going to be going for quite a thick winged liner, we want to start off quite small and close to the lash line to begin with, and then we're going to go along and thicken that up. Using the tip of the felt, I'm going to pull the colour backwards towards the lash line, and this is going to create the perfect crisp wing. I'm also just using the very tip to create a nice point at the inner corner. Don't worry about getting your wing crisp to begin with. Admittedly, it is a lot more simple with this pen because it does the hard work for you. When you're going for a nice full thick winged liner, you want to take your time and do it in small sections. On my angled liner brush, I'm going back in with that matte brown eyeshadow, and I'm pulling the colour from the outer wing through the socket, and this is going to give us a very soft cut crease on the outer third of the eye. Use a light hand to pull the colour towards the inner crease and then feather the brush upwards to fade the colour. Then go in with a clean blending brush to soften the edges. Along the waterline, I'm applying Tarte Cosmetics in a rim liner. This is just going to make our eyes look a lot bigger and diminish any pinky tones. On a softer angled liner brush, I'm going to run the same matte eyeshadow underneath the lower lashes. I'm starting from underneath the wing of the liner and pulling that all the way underneath the lower lashes. I'm using my velour lashes in You Complete Me. Don't forget you can get a 15% discount on velour lashes if you use the code ShonagH at the checkout. I also have the details in the description bar below. Now I'm applying Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on my lower lashes. Remember, you need to balance your bottom lashes if you're wearing false lashes on your top set, so apply a couple of coats if necessary. And to get a bit more of a fluttery appearance, I'm applying a little bit to my false lashes. For blush, I'm using this cool bubblegum pink colour by Neve Cosmetics. This is from their Rose Blush Garden collection, and this is called Saturday. These go on really velvety, and they're super blendable, and they come in a nice range of colours. And the 7 colours are the names of the days of the week. I know I'm using this a lot recently, but I'm definitely back into my Hoola by Benefit. As usual, I'm working that in around the circumference of my face, so around my hairline, a little bit down the sides of my nose and my cheekbones, and not forgetting my neck. The purpose of this is to make the skin look a bit more healthy, but it's also to add a little bit more dimension to the face because the foundation again makes your skin look so flat. I'm applying a small amount of concealer underneath my eyes, and I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I'm using my little finger to blend that in. This gives a nice amount of coverage, but you really can't see it on the skin, which is great. For highlighter, I'm using this Pearl colour by Becca. I'm applying that in the usual areas, and you can see I've opted for a cool colour highlighter as opposed to a warm one, which is normally my champagne pop. If you suffer with oily skin, highlighting can obviously make you look a lot more glowy, but it's great if you're going to use a lot of mattifying products because this will bring a little bit more glow back to the skin, but just keep it on the high points of the face and avoid applying it anywhere that you become oily. For lips, I'm going to keep it quite simple and cool. I'm using this Ode-To-Pink Power Crayon by Sigma, and again this is like a bubblegum pink shade. I'm using the smallest amount and I'm blending it in with my fingers. I'm dipping my finger into my Powder Puff Pigment by Benefit and applying a very small amount of that to my top and bottom lip in the centre, and this is just going to make them look a little bit more full. And that completes this pink look for Valentine's Day. I know pink can be quite hard to wear, so I hope this is helpful for those of you that do want to wear it. This is my last Valentine's upload on my channel, but I have a surprise one going up on the Crown Brush YouTube channel, which you can go over and check out now. If you've missed any of my previous Valentine's Day makeup tutorials, you can click on these and it will take you to those. Hit the subscribe button now if you haven't already done so, and don't forget you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, all at ShowMe Makeup. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!